Today we're going to talk about what is the first thing you should buy when you're just getting into model railroading. Hey everyone, how's it going? I'm Matt and I'm back with another video. This is a video that I promised a lot of people weeks ago, and I apologize. I got busy with work and then I got sick with the flu last weekend, so this is a late coming video. But it's here and we're here today and we're going to talk about it. Today we're talking about what is the very first thing I should buy when I'm getting into model railroading. I actually came up with this idea for this video a number of weeks back. I was on Reddit taking a look at the model railroad community on there. Reddit is a wild place, guys. There are a lot of people with a lot of different ideas that I may or may not agree with. But I think a lot of people just getting into the hobby are unsure as to where to go online to find information. And I mean, let's be honest, this is a pretty tough hobby to get into. I've got my fingers in a lot of different kind of hobbies, and as far as like where to start, what should I buy first? There's not a lot of great information or ideas out there. So I saw this question asked on the Reddit community or forum or whatever you want to call it. This girl says, "Hey, my boyfriend is getting into model railroading. What should I buy him first?" What I recommended to this person as a gift for their boyfriend, and what I think I'm going to recommend for everyone, if you're new to model railroading, you're watching this video for the first time or whatever, is I think you should buy a subscription to a magazine. I have with me right here Railroad Model Craftsman magazine. There's also a Model Railroader magazine. Both magazines are excellent. I think both magazines are excellent for beginners as well. Model Railroader magazine has a lot of kind of beginner articles about laying track and ballasting and the basics of bench work and stuff. So that might be a better magazine for a beginner. But I think Railroad Model Craftsman is great too, because there's a lot of very, very good modeling and inspirational layouts that show up in Railroad Model Craftsman. And although some of it might be for a beginner kind of above your skill level or where you're kind of thinking at this point in the hobby, I think having those very inspirational articles and layouts to look at is very, very helpful. The other reason why I really like magazines is it's new and fresh, and it's in your mailbox once a month. You get a cool new magazine to sort of, reinvigorate you, get you excited about getting back to work on the layout or whatever it might be. Just kind of keep model railroading kind of forefront in your mind. It's like there's a popularity with a lot of those geek boxes or loot boxes or whatever you want to call them. You get each month you get like a little gift in the mail. I kind of feel like a model railroad magazine every month is a little gift in the mail. That's something to kind of remind you about how cool the hobby is. I also suggest a couple of books to start out as well, because although the magazines are full of great information, if you're kind of getting the hobby, you kind of want a more sort of a collected view of things. So 2 books I recommended to this person. The first is Building the Right Size Layout, Design and Operating a Small Switching Layout by Thomas Klomoski. I'll put a picture of it up here on the video here. Full disclosure, I haven't read that book, but anytime I talk to anybody about the books and stuff available for model railroading, that is one of the very first ones that comes up. I've seen a lot of interviews with Tom Klomoski. He's a great guy, knows quite a bit about model railroading, and he focuses on smaller layouts and layouts that are really sort of designed with a purpose to fill a need. And I think if you're just starting out in model railroading, you're going to look out on the internet, you're going to see guys with basement empires, guys with giant room-sized layouts, and even medium-sized room-sized layouts, something like this. And you're going to probably get a little overwhelmed. And I think Thomas's book is going to help sort of bring it back down to size for you, if you will, a little bit. The second book I'm going to recommend is Lance Midheim's book, How to Design a Small Switching Layout. This is, I don't have that particular book either, but I have the second book in the series, How to Operate a Modern Switching Layout. His books are full of great pictures, full of great information. He breaks things down in a very accessible, easy to understand format. Lance Midheim is, maybe the father of sort of the modern sort of philosophy on small switching layouts, small shelf layouts. I think a small shelf layout is a good option for somebody. I'm going to go into a different video what I think you should start as your first layout. But I think between those two books and a subscription to like Model Railroader magazine, you are going to get a lot of good information kind of coming towards you that has sort of been distilled through the lens of experts and people who've been working in the hobby for a very long time, so that you can sort of trust what they have to say about something, and that you know that the information you're getting is good and valid and will be very helpful for you moving forward. I also ask, because I'm not the arbiter of all information about starting out in the hobby, I asked some other modelers what they would recommend for their first, for somebody to purchase for your first purchase in the hobby. And so here's what some people had to say. Gen X Diorama says, a small notebook. Start with writing the story down for what you want to build and why. Most people start throwing meat without cutting into the veggies first. Aaron Cicala, I apologize, Aaron. I'm going to ruin everyone's last names on this video. Perhaps purchase number 2 after you have the notebook, like Gen X says, is to low-hanging fruit suggestion, purchasing Thomas Klomoski's Building the Right Size Layout. Now, see, he has the same thoughts as me. And Lance Midheim's book, How to Design a Model Railroad. Okay, so Lance Midheim, Thomas Klomoski, both of those excellent books to start with. They are a must for somebody starting out and will help the complete newbie figure out how to make a subset of their almost always too vast notebook ideas into reality. Gary Roaming says, first thing I would buy, knowing what is out there now, is patience. Knowing that model roads can be a large investment, both in time and money. Be wise, decide what needs there are and what wants there are. Joe Deloso says, first thing you do would be to figure out a budget and stick to it. He is on a fixed income and he upgraded to DCC in 2019. So he likes to spend no more than $40 for rolling stock. So Walther's mainline series, Accurail, Athearn as his main go-tos. Locomotives, he wants to stay in the $200 to $250 range. Craig Denkow says, several magazines, YouTube videos to find what you need, then look for a club to join. Definitely join the NMRA and be part of the community. Jim Lane says, a few of Lance Midheim's books. So a lot of people are saying the same things. Eric Gagnon says, Gagnon, yeah, I apologize, Eric. Not even a purchase, just start watching Model Railroad videos on YouTube. You're already doing that, so you're doing right. Hal Humphrey says, a decent locomotive doesn't have to be fancy, just reliable. Steve Nichols says, don't forget the numerous project railroads that have been done over the years by Model Railroad magazine. This one just so happens to be his favorite, and he posted a link to a book about the Turtle Creek Central, which is another good one. Model Railroad magazine, what's the great thing about that magazine, if you get in on it now at the end of the year, is every year they tend to do a project railroad. Over the course of the 12 months, they build a layout from scratch. So starting with the bench work, so maybe even starting with track planning and bench work and, laying out the track, electrical, scenery details, all that kind of stuff. Very, very good. Model Railroad magazine tends to take those articles and compile them into a book at the end of the year. I know a few of my first layouts that I worked on were highly inspired by some of those Model Railroad magazine project layouts. So I would definitely take a look at that. AU Overland says, +1 on Lance. But I would see as many layouts as I could. Opposite group, layout, open houses, club layouts, etc. See what's out there first so you aren't buying things you'll regret later. But nobody has ever bought something in haste, especially in this hobby, right? Alan Satkamp, Alan says, join a nearby NMRA division or train club. Seek community education classes on the hobby. Barry Simmons says, first thing he would buy would be a club membership if possible. Oh man, I'm going to screw up your name. Enar, I'm going to say Jensen. I apologize if I got that wrong. He says a switcher, 5 rolling stock wagons, 4 turnouts, and 20 feet of flex track. Okay, so you heard from a lot of people in this video. A lot of people are recommending Lance Midheim. A lot of people are recommending, you know, getting some books, getting some magazines as your very first purchase. I think what I would recommend is go that direction and hold off a little bit on buying, you know, expensive locomotives and cars and track work and building kits until you really know if this hobby is one for you and two, which direction you want to go in the hobby. So what I mean by all that is just to say, you know, visit other people's layouts, take a look at the time investment that they have put into their modeling efforts, and take a look at these magazines, these books, and all the work that's, you know, being done out there. See what speaks to you. See what kind of modeling speaks to you. What kind of railroading speaks to you. And then you can kind of pick a direction from there and then head down that way. So thanks for stopping in today on this video. Hopefully this was educational maybe and gave you some ideas moving forward. If you have any questions, leave those in the comments. I think I'm gonna do a couple more of these beginner-friendly videos before the end of the holidays and that kind of thing, just to kind of give people a little bit of maybe a kick in the pants and hopefully some good information to get going in a good direction. So thank you again for stopping by and checking out this video, and I'll see everyone in another video.